Peace, something we are all seeking and yearning for. Peace, something we were once indigenous to. Peace, something we have lost along our way. Our way to obtaining knowledge of self. The knowledge of our ancestors who were removed from their natural state. The knowledge of our people who refuse to be oppressed. In our journey, we lost our grip on peace. In a society of pressure, stress, and traumas, we have become comfortable with holding on to the burdens of fear and anxiety, family secrets buried in our DNA. Change within is our only way back to peace. Peace in our communities, peace in our families, peace within ourselves. A major change in our thinking, in our actions, in our existence is needed. A non-negotiable change. Welcome to the revolution with Sister Talibah.
This is an injustice.
I'm live. Hi. I don't see any comments. That's why I'm like, peace, everyone. Peace, y'all. Okay. Where you at? Oh, okay. Hi, y'all. Peace. Peace, y'all. Good afternoon. Lil Mama Peace, Grand Rising. Cicero McGill, Kamala Buford, Eddie Gray, Carolyn Hendricks, Sidney Green Sr., No Name, Debbie Clark, Marcia, peace to you. Nancy Adams, peace to everyone. Peace, peace, peace. Finally, the revolution is here. It's been a long time coming. Many promises, but it's okay. Divine timing is perfect timing. So, alhamdulillah. Peace to AJ. Peace to Just Me. Peace to everyone that's coming into the room. Thank you for joining me on my very first show with A10 News Media Group, The Revolution. I'm very grateful to be working with A10 News Media Group. Grateful to work with Brother Mickey, Trevor, and Winters. So thank you everyone for your support. Peace, big bro John. John Snow, thank you so much. I love you, Winters. Peace to everyone. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to A10 News Media Group. You can support the platform by sending a donation to $ Cash App A10 News Media Group. And you can, what do you call that, Mickey and Trevor? But they do this send a donation, super chats. Okay, I was about to say Snapchat. Yeah, I'm not that tech savvy.
We're gonna walk you through.
I am so happy to see everyone in the comment section. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. My intentions with this show, with the show of the revolution, is to bring an inspiration and motivation for all of us to heal and elevate in our own personal lives and as a collective. So for us to elevate individually and as a community. And so today's show is about self-preservation, disrupting the cycle of trauma. And I specifically wanted to focus on this because of the trauma that the Flint community and the supporters of Flint have experienced, witnessed, and seen in the last week or so, really in the last 11 years of the water crisis that we're still in. But specifically from the peaceful protest that was initiated by activist Jedediah Brown, and that was participated by many of the residents of Flint and supporters of Flint. And As we all know, to see Mr. Terrence being grabbed out of that car by the Flint Police Department was highly distressing. And it caused a lot of trauma, even just to watch it on the lives, on the recordings. So trauma is something that I want us to go over, to get an overview, because I believe that a lot of us go through trauma and we don't even realize that it is trauma because we have normalized it. Um, we just see it as a normal part of daily lives. So I'm going to give a brief overview of what trauma is, and then I really want to go deep into how do we preserve ourselves? How do we practice self-preservation? How do we bounce back from trauma? How do we heal ourselves? So that's what we'll be discussing today. And I do have a PowerPoint, so I want you guys to follow along. Let me see. Add to stage. There we go. So the clinical definition, and many of you know that I am a social worker, a practicing social worker in the city of Flint and in Genesee County. The clinical definition of trauma is exposure to actual or threatened death, serious injury, or sexual violence. And it occurs through direct experience, witnessing the event, learning about it happening to a loved one, or repeated exposure as part of one's job. And usually our response to trauma is intense fear, helplessness, or horror. And so there are three types of trauma: acute, chronic, and complex. And acute results from a single isolated event, such as a car accident. Chronic involves repeated or prolonged exposure to stressful events. So an example is domestic violence or child abuse and neglect. And the third type of trauma is complex, and that's a more severe form of trauma resulting from multiple, often interpersonal traumatic experiences. So, for example, would be like the war in Gaza, or another example would be the water crisis. And I think as another example of Flint is, I believe, Flint residents consistently bounce back and forth between chronic and complex, not even including the acute traumas that we experience more so on a personal level, of, again, like a car accident, or I don't know, something happening to your child, etc. So there's an intense amount of stress that we experience in our communities, in our daily lives. Causes of trauma, again, abuse and neglect. That could be in your childhood or in your adulthood. Acts of violence, accidents, grief of loss, grief and loss, excuse me. This year, I want to say, like, between last year and this year, I feel like collectively we have seen a lot of death, unexpected death. And that in itself is a shock. And maybe since COVID-19 in 2020, there has been an increase of grief and loss, natural disasters, and environmental stressors. So, one of the environmental stressors would be living in a high risk neighborhood. High risk neighborhoods often are violent neighborhoods, um, are poverty level neighborhoods, easy access to substance abuse. You see prostitution, heavy on the blight, no grocery stores, as we see in Flint on the north side. The north side is a food desert. Inferior school systems. We do not have quality teachers that are interested in really educating our babies. Again, police brutality, as we've seen on Sunday, June 1st, with Mr. Terrence, and also the other elder that was handcuffed. I can't remember her name. And then man-made disasters, such as the Flint water crisis. And in my opinion, one thing that I've noticed about let me see, the high risk neighborhoods is I am concluding within myself that this is propaganda, that it's a plan, it's an agenda to have high risk neighborhoods. Um, One thing that I struggle with about Flint ever since the water crisis is that residents are often told how resilient we are because we bounce back from what we go through. We bounce back from all of this stress. We bounce back from PTSD. We can go through anything and we'll bounce back. And it's like that resilience is celebrated, but I think it is celebrated on an unnatural level because no one talks about the ease. No one on a macro level, on a policy level, on a governmental level is really pushing for ease of Flint. Government officials have the nerve to talk about Flint fatigue. And no one is more fatigued than the residents of Flint. And to hear government officials say that they are fatigued from hearing about the problems of Flint is a slap in the face. But then at the same time, they push the resilience on us. So it's kind of like we're expected to be resilient with each hardship. And that is completely abnormal. I could compare that to the example of a woman being a strong woman. In the Black community, we hear, oh, she's a strong Black woman because she endures everything and she doesn't break down. That is abnormal. A woman should be able to, or a man for that matter, but since I'm talking about a woman, I'm going to keep using that as an example. It is normal to take a pause in life, to take a breath in life. It is normal to cry, to release what we're feeling, the high energy emotions, the anger, the resentment, the frustrations. That is normal. But I remember in my childhood growing up, and even as a teenager, I used to think that I was a very weak because when things were overwhelming, I would break down and cry. And I would think that I was weak because I wasn't evolving into this strong Black woman. I'm going to go further and say that I believe that this propaganda of being strong and so resilient is what is killing a lot of us. It is killing us. And I'm going to go even further and say that it reminds me of how the enslaved were treated. They were expected to work from sunup to sundown like robots. You work nonstop. Even if you just had a baby, you work nonstop. That is abnormal. It is abnormal not to process what has happened to you, regardless of what form of trauma, what the cause is. It's abnormal to not process it. And I'm going to jump to a few years ago. I'm going to go back to, I think it was 2016, where I experienced a trauma. And I didn't know how to process it. And one of my uncles told me, feel the emotions, but don't hold on to it. Another, a girlfriend of mine, a sister friend of mine, told me that when you experience trauma, the emotions should hit you like contractions when a woman is giving birth. You know how the contractions come and it goes, kind of like waves in the ocean. So you feel it, but then you also release it. Many of us, including myself, I will feel something and I'll keep it. And that is one way that the body stores trauma. So let me see. Let's go. I'm gonna go to the next slide. So the physical symptoms and impact of trauma. It stresses out our stress response system, our nervous system, our brain changes, and again, our body stores this trauma in our cells, in our muscles, in our organs. Um, we have gut issues, pain, can't sleep well, we're up at night, our immune system is lowered. Um, it causes heart concerns, maybe increased heart rate, skin problems, weight changes, and it causes for some of us who cannot cope with the trauma, who cannot cope with the hurt and pain, to go forward to using illegal substances. So this again is abnormal. And let me say this, the society that we are living in, we live in a society that works us to death, promotes violence, promotes, I'm gonna say sexual deviance. It promotes a lot of low uh, vibrational energies. It promotes a lot of negativity. And then it highlights it on the news. And the news constantly runs 24/7. And they want your attention to that news. Why? To keep you stagnant, to keep you in a state of fear, and to keep you to think that it's hopeless. You know, like you're in a constant state of hopelessness, you're in a constant state of anxiety and depression. And then to combat that, so they set you up for depression, and then in the same breath, they come up with these generic medications for you to take that takes away the alleged symptoms of depression. And so it's a cycle. The same system that is setting you up for depression, to be negative, to setting you up for anxiety, is also calling themselves healing you of that. And that's a dangerous cycle to be in. We can actually heal ourselves. So just like trauma um, affects us physically, of course, it affects us emotionally and mentally as well. So our mood changes. We avoid people. We avoid situations. We become disassociated. We have thoughts and memories, intrusive thoughts and memories, changes in memories, and we develop PTSD. So now let's look at everything that I described physically and emotionally and mentally. Let's go deeper. I am not a surface thinker. I like to go deep. And I always use the word spirituality, but some of you may be uncomfortable with that because I don't want you to think that I'm trying to convert you to a religion or to some type of spiritual ideology. However, let's say metaphysically. Let's go deeper than the physical. What is your body telling you when your nervous system is out of whack, when you feel that stomach pain, that chest pain, joint pain, headaches, back pain, muscle pain, and for the women, when your womb is have really bad cramps and heavy menstrual bleeding, that is not normal. Your body cannot lie to you. You can lie to people and say, "Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine." The tongue can lie, but your body, your disposition, the aches and pains that you feel, that's not a lie. That's truth. Your body wants to release all of this trauma that it's holding on to. Um, Let me just share because I want to be transparent with everyone that is watching that ever since I was at elementary age, I can remember if going into certain environments and my stomach would start hurting. And I never understood why. And as a child in that young age, I would constantly have chest pain to the point where my mom took me to the hospital and they did extensive testing thinking it was like a cardiac issue, and it wasn't. And this it keeps happening now, but I have better control over it. And I've come to find out that I have anxiety. I have a diagnosis of anxiety. I don't take medication for it. I go to herbs. Lavender tea is one of the best um, healing mechanisms for me, as well as deep breathing, taking slow, deep breaths. Um, but that is something that I've noticed as a child, and even with my own children, I when they tell me that, I'm teaching them to ask themselves why they feel that. Your children are very sensitive to the energy around them. They are very sensitive to other people and can pick up on those that do not mean them well. So this is something that we should start teaching our children and our descendants, to trust themselves, because again, the body does not lie. Our mind will try to tell us, oh, try to brush it to the side, like I'm tripping, how I feel when this certain person comes around. um I'm tripping. That's not true. You know what I mean? We try to psych ourselves out. um is this man or is this significant other good for me? I get a weird feeling. A lot of times we don't follow that. We don't follow what our gut instincts is telling us, and we need to trust ourselves. But again, in this society, we are taught otherwise. I feel like they push being more rational than emotional, and it's really about being both. It's about having a balance between being rational and being emotional. And you have to trust yourself, because it could save your life. um I know that I frequently get headaches and back pain. When I do, I know that I am carrying an emotional load that I am not expressing, a lot of burdens. When it's a lot of stuff on me, again, I'm a mama, I'm a wife, I'm a social worker. I am always tending to other people's needs, to other people's emergencies. And I have to constantly remind myself every day, Sister Talibah, stop. Check yourself, put yourself first. And let me tell you something, as a mama, what I've started doing. It's two things that if I cannot do in peace, I'm going to raise hell about it. If I can't take a shower in peace and get dressed in peace, that's an issue for me. And if I cannot eat my food in peace, I have to enjoy my food. I don't want to hear nothing my kids got to say. If ain't nobody bleeding, hurt, need to go to the hospital, don't say a mumbling word to me. Let me eat my food in peace. I'm serious about my food. I am a eater. I can eat like a grown man, and I like good food. And that's a time for me to sit and enjoy myself. So just little stuff like that I'm conscious of, and I put in practice a lot. Um, let's see. And let me use another example. In regards to the one, this is strictly for the women. In regards to menstrual cycles, I know someone that gets severe cramps. Um, and it flares up only when she deals with a specific male. Now, what's that telling you?
Keep dealing with
No, not at all, Mickey. What is that telling y'all? You shouldn't. And one day I'm gonna go deeper with that, with deeper in sex, but your body is telling you this not it, sis. This brother not it. And what is he depositing into your womb? What is the frequency of his sperm? What is the frequency of his energy, of his penis? But don't, I'm gonna ease off of that. I'll say that for another show. I ain't going. Yes, peace to you. I'm taking calls. Peace. Assalamu alaikum. Umi Asiya Akil. Peace to you. Sassy Shay. Peace, sis. Okay, let me keep it moving. Okay. What is your behavior revealing to you? The soul has no secret that the behavior does not reveal. What are your resentments revealing to you? Your anger, your self doubt, your low self esteem and confidence, and overthinking. What is that revealing to you? Hanging on to those emotions is trauma based. And I am definitely some of these. I'm gonna just go ahead and be frank. All of these I deal with. And I'm still trying to get a grasp understanding of overthinking, which my little brother, no name, has been helping me with. That's something he also teaches on. But what is the root of the matter? And I always go to the root of the matter because as a social worker, that's just what I do. It's natural for me. When I first moved to Flint in 2009 and I became a social worker, I was a self-preservation worker for a little bit over 2 years. So I worked with families that had CPS involved in the homes, and they were at a high risk of having their children removed. And so, as a family preservation worker, I would go into the home and I would do an assessment of the parents, of the entire family, really, but I would start with the parents. And I would actually have to get their biography. I would ask them specific questions like, where what's your date of birth? Where were you born? Who raised you? And then that would get them to talk about their childhood. And always in their childhood, it would reveal I could connect an issue from their childhood to why they had CPS in the home now. Always go to the root. Peace, Kawana Mac. Always go to the root. And so I never stop using that practice. And it could be professionally and personally. I'll always go back to the root of an issue. What happened? Not why. Why do you do this? Why are you responding like this? Why are you behaving like this? No. What happened to you? And that's not to point blame on the parents because your parents have trauma. Yeah, we all have trauma. We all traumatize each other intentionally and unintentionally. Okay. But it's just to get to the root so that that behavior can be corrected. Now, let's go deeper. Think about the people that we have in our lives. What lessons are they teaching us about ourselves? That includes our parents, siblings, grandparents, all family members, our children, even. Our children come to us to teach us lessons, as well as to learn from us. It's an exchange. What about the people that we have in our life or that we know that we dislike and we cannot stand? Why can't we stand them? Why do they trigger us? Could it be that they are assigned to be in our lives to trigger us so that we can heal and not become stagnant in fear, anger, and in low level energies? Think about that spouse, that ex-spouse. Why did they trigger you? You get triggered, you get mad, but do you ever check yourself? Why does this person have power to trigger you? Anytime you are triggered, that means healing needs to be done. What are they stirring up in you? And let's not just talk on the micro level. Let's talk about on a macro level. Now I'm about to ruffle some feathers. I'm talking about Mayor Neely too, since all eyes is on Flint. What if Mayor Neely is assigned to the people of Flint for us to do some deep healing? Even Councilwoman Liddell Lewis, all the people that you perceive to be negative, to be evil. What if y'all, and I need y'all to open your minds up, don't be scared. I don't like surface thinkers. You got to go deep with me. What if they are assigned in our lives to heal us? What if we have a metaphysical contract with these people before we come into this earth, onto this earth, and say, this is what's going to happen, so I can learn and master this lesson? What about President Trump? What about all of these boogeymen, these boogie people that we have created to be monsters? What are they here to teach us? Yes, no name. I know I'm stepping on toes, but I mean, like I said, you got to be open-minded. Peace, Brother Elliot. How often do we think like that? I don't know. Brother Mickey, what you thinking? I hear you mumbling and grumbling over there.
I don't know. I like where you're going. I like where you're going.
Okay. And that it's a bit much, but I mean, it's a challenging thought. Marcia says, true. Every time Neely Smurf opens his mouth, I can't stand to hear his voice because I know he's lying. Trump is a trigger too. I don't watch the news on purpose. I agree, Marcia. Kawana Mack, to teach us we can't win unless we stand together as one. I also agree with that, Kawana. Sassy Shay, it's the next level of healing. Yes, sis. I agree.
How do we get there, Talibah?
First of all, you have to be willing to even, I think the first step to healing is being accountable. You can't, in your own healing, you cannot show up as a victim. You feel like a victim, but in your healing, you agreed. And some part of being perpetrated, I'm going to use that word, you agreed to it in some way, maybe whether it be consciously or subconsciously. Did you not have healthy boundaries? Did you not speak up for yourself? You have to look within. Always go within first and be accountable. That's how you begin. You got to be accountable. And with healing, I'm going to say this. Healing involves forgiveness. And the first person you need to forgive is yourself, as well as the other person, right? But in this society, I believe that the way they teach us forgiveness is perverted. It has been altered, because forgiveness is not, okay, I accept your apology, I forgive you, and then you go about your way. No, forgiveness and forgiving someone is a lifelong lesson, in my opinion, and from my experience. Because some days you can have good days, and then you have a memory. That just means you need to heal some more. You get mad all over again. Did that answer your question?
Oh, yes, it did.
Okay. That's my opinion. So let's move forward with talking about self-preservation. Do you know your worth? So the social work definition of self-preservation, a natural and necessary instinct to prioritize one's own well-being, both physical and emotional, to ensure the ability to effectively help others. How many of us truly believe that we are worthy of self-preservation, that we are worthy of saving ourselves? And I think that's a major issue in my community of Flint. I don't think people realize that they are worthy um, of putting in the work for themselves. When they look at themselves, they don't see themselves in a powerful position. They don't know that the power that they were blessed with. They don't know their worth. And therefore, they become to rely on someone else to save them. And then I could get into idol worship, but I don't want to right now because I know y'all tired of that, but it's the truth. You have to look within yourself and know that you are given, you are talented, you are gifted, you are intelligent, you are powerful. Who taught you that you were not? Who told you that you would never be nothing? Who told you that you wasn't nothing, bitch? Who told you that you were a bum? Who told you that? And why did you believe it? Why don't you know your own power? Why don't you know your own worth? And why would you stick around and accept that type of treatment and accept that type of abuse from other people? Know your self-worth. You're not here because you're trash. You're here on a mission. You're here to get work done. You're here to help other people. Don't believe the hype of this society where you're just here to work a 9 to 5. Uh, uh, what is that called? Resign, not resign. Um, oh Lord, when you get to 65, retire. Yeah, retire and then die. That's not living. We have a better we have a better purpose than that. But we don't know that because we're conditioned, and the so-called powers to be want us in that cycle of a 9 to 5, in that cycle of being fearful and not knowing that we can heal ourselves. If you don't believe it, go back to 2020 when they popped off COVID-19. That was a whole setup. Know who you are. And if you want to say, well, how do I do that? Sit in silence. The best time to sit in silence is the early morning hours. Some say between 3 and 6, others say between 4 and 6. I try to do it around 4:30 in the morning. Sit in silence, and then things will be revealed to you. Your higher consciousness or God or spirit, whatever you want to label it, will give you answers, and you will get to know yourself. Do not rely on other people, other entities to tell you about you. You have a purpose here, and you need to, in order to fulfill it, you need to know your worth. So let's break down the steps of self-preservation. Prioritize yourself first. What are your needs and your wants? And don't be shy about it. I struggle with this. When people ask me, well, what do you want? How much do you want to get paid? Now I am getting into the habit of saying the first number that come to my mind. And then I had the nerve to second guess it. But no, I have to remind myself, no, I'm worthy of this. I'm worthy of a high salary. I am worthy of it. Do you know, I used to believe as a child, I grew up on food stamps, the paper food stamps. I grew up on WIC. I grew up um, in a high risk neighborhood. And I thought success was only for uh, wealthy white people. And I know some white people can relate to how I grew up, right? It's not a black and white thing. Um, but as a black child, that's what I thought. My self-worth was being uh attacked as a child because I didn't think. I remember, let me back up. I remember in kindergarten, my kindergarten center, my classroom, Santa Claus came. And the girls, my peers in front of me, they were being honest about what they wanted for Christmas. And then he would reach in the bag and give it to them. I wanted a cabbage patch doll so bad. And as a 5-year-old, y'all, as a 5-year-old, I was too scared to say what I really wanted. And I opted for something else that I really didn't want because I was too scared to be honest with Santa Claus about what I wanted. And that has carried into my life as an adult. I'm 45 years old and I still got to battle those demons. I still got to battle Allison. That's my birth name. Or Sister Talibah, my Muslim name. Girl, get it together and be honest about what you want. How many of us deal with that on a daily basis? Okay, set healthy boundaries. Let me tell y'all something. It was something about 2016, honey, because I went through something in my family where girlfriends started cutting, I almost said a word, cutting folks off. And I'm talking about close relatives that were bringing harm to me, that thought that they could call me, harass me on the phone, and get me to do anything that they wanted me to do. And I I cut them off. I had to. Now that was really self-preservation. That was really self-preservation. Somebody was harming me emotionally and mentally to where my stomach hurt. And I was pregnant with my 5th baby. And they knew I was big and pregnant. So everything I was feeling, the anxiety from those phone calls, the fear, my baby was feeling. The anger I felt, my baby was feeling in my womb. And my womb is supposed to be a safe space for my children. Healthy boundaries. Say no without explanation, y'all. If somebody wants you to do something, no. And I don't have to explain why I don't want to do it. No. Okay. And if I'm yelling, I apologize, y'all. It's coming from my gut, my heart. Practice and maintain self-care. Be mindful of your breathing. Take slow, deep breaths. Go hug a tree if you got one in your yard. That might sound silly, but let me tell you, I started doing that during COVID-19. And it's 6 of us in my household. So we literally had at that time 3 boys uh, on the laptop in school from home, and I'm working from home on the laptop. And then my baby was really a baby at that time. And my boys, when they would express frustration, anger, I would make them go outside and make them climb the tree, sit under the tree, and I would have to force their arms around the tree so they could cry, just so they could connect with nature. And it worked. I would make them take their shoes off when they're in the yard and ground into the earth. It's something about nature. Go sit in the sun. Look at the sun. We're taught to not look at the sun. Look at the sun. It's good for your third eye, your pineal gland. A lot of things that these people, these so-called powers that be, they tell us things to not do that we should be doing. Go take walks, take a bath, take long showers. For me, it's something about water where when I'm in a shower or when I make wudu, 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 that's a purification process that Muslims do before we pray. So we wash our face, our hands, our forearms, the back of our neck, our feet. Every time that I purify myself with water, I receive messages. I receive answers to questions. Um I just it's like a divine connection, but it works for me. Meditate, sit in silence. If you went to praying, pray. State affirmations. Write down your thoughts. I also do adult coloring books because coloring is relaxing. Read or listen to audiobooks. Eat fruits and vegetables and drink plenty of spring water. Spring water is live water. Distilled water is dead water. Sit in the sun and advocate for your need. Express yourself. If you keep holding on to these traumas, if you keep holding on to these hurts and pains, you're going to spaz out. You're going to spaz out. And as soon as I said that, Councilwoman Candace Mouchette's face came to my mind. And I'm not picking on anyone, but I believe that it's a lot of trauma there, which is why you see her go ziggity boom and be nasty and vile. So let's not do that. Let's get in the practice of expressing ourselves, expressing our emotions. Okay, I said earlier, state affirmations. Not only state it, but feel it and see it. So, examples of affirmations. I am aware of what my body is telling me. I am willing to heal from my traumas. I am healing from my traumas. And I am mentally, emotionally, and physically healthy. Don't just say it, but believe it and see it in your mind. Whatever you want to accomplish, whatever your goal is, whatever your objective is, see it in your mind first and then feel it. Feel the gratitude of what you want manifesting in your life. Feel that gratitude. Feel it and say it. Say it with a high level energy. Say these affirmations consistently and with happiness and affirm it from your gut. Let me say something else about affirmations. This is something that I'm currently doing. I listen to affirmations in my own voice, and I use an app called Parrot, and that app loops the affirmations. So you can put it on a timer, and let's say my affirmation is, I am healing from my traumas. I am healing from my traumas. I am healing from my traumas. And it keeps saying it, and I could put the timer on 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It goes longer than that. And I'm listening to it over and over again as I'm multitasking. So when in those moments where I can't sit still because I'm a mama, I'm a social worker, I'm a wife, I'm listening to myself tell myself I'm healing myself in the midst of me doing other things that I need to do. Again, this app is called Parrot, like the bird. I don't know if there's any other apps like that out there. Probably is, but that's the one that I use. Okay, here we go. Resources for my people that live in Flint and in Genesee County. There's nothing wrong with getting counseling, nothing wrong with talking to someone. With Genesee Health System, they are the main mental and emotional health hub in Genesee County. You could go through them and they will connect you to the counselor or therapist or behavioral health service that is best for you. When I'm at work, sometimes I have clients that say, "Oh no, I want to talk to somebody, but I don't want their medication." You can call them and tell them that. Not everyone wants the medication. Others, some people feel like they need the medication and it helps them. That's good too, as long as they're getting the help. There's also an urgent care service that they have. The number is up there. For those of you that do not live in Flint or Genesee County and you feel like you need someone to talk to, please look for resources in your own community. Uh-oh, y'all. So for some reason on this PowerPoint, not all of the books that I had put up that I found helpful for myself are up here. It's only 3 books and I have a total of 7. So, but that's okay. But these books I keep and I'll refer back to. The Sacred Woman by Queen Afua, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy, and the Chakra Healing book. There's also a book. Please look up Louise Hay. You can find a lot of her audiobooks on YouTube for free. And it's called You Can Heal Your Life. There's a book called Vibrate Higher Daily, Live Your Power. And then there's another book, is Islamic based, but it's really good. Anybody can read it, called Purification of the Heart by Hamza Yusuf. And there's another book called Heal Thyself, and that's more of a Christian based book. And I wish it would have came up on a slide. I apologize for that. So that's it for my resources. Mickey, do I still have time to do call-ins?
Yes.
Okay. So anyone that would like to call in, that is the phone number right there, 810-371-5812.
I'm gonna screen them calls now. You calling here talking crazy? You give me 24 hours. No, I'm just playing.
Yes. And if I don't get, child, I hope I can maneuver this really well, because I wasn't giving out my personal number like one to she a G for that.
Wow.
Not a clown, she a G for that.
They don't hear me, only you can.
Oh,
You did this by yourself. You don't
really?
Only you hear me in the background. You can bring me up though. All you do is put, when you see my picture up, all you do is bring that, just push a button and bring me on, say add me to your show.
Oh, okay.
No, you did a beautiful job, man.
Thank you. Excuse me, y'all. Y'all know this is my first time. I'm a virgin at this.
You did a beautiful job.
But you know, I'm happy. I'm happy to.
Right, so
Marcia said she can hear you.
Oh, you did it. Okay. I caught, yeah, because I want to know you did a beautiful job.
Okay. So let me, if I don't get any phone calls, let me end with one story about trauma that I went through. And again, I believe this was in 2016. God was really preparing me in that year. I experienced something tragic at work with a coworker. And I went to work thinking it was going to be a regular work day. And this is when I was a family engagement advocate with Head Start and Beecher at Daily. And I got a phone call. Sis, let me finish this story. I'm going to bring you on, okay? All right. So at the end of the day, somehow it worked that I was in the office. I worked in the main office of Head Start. And so for some reason, I was going to end up being the only staff person at the end of the workday to make sure that the bus is clear, that all the children got home safely, etc. And so it was like everyone in the building, I can't remember what was going on, if it was a holiday or what was significant about this weekend coming up, because this was on a Friday. And I was waiting, and one of my teachers, that one of the classrooms that I was in charge of, and I was in charge of enrolling children into that classroom, the teacher was sick. She had a really bad headache, and she had would come into the main office to use the restroom and to vomit. But I had offered her some pain medication. She refused it. So at the end of the day, I'm waiting for the buses to clear. My colleagues that usually sit with me, they had to leave early. I'm the only one in the office. My teacher come in, and she says, "Mrs. Littlejohn, can I sit with you and talk with you about three siblings that she had in her class, and she was worried about the family?" And I said, "Yeah." And so she's talking to me, but she can't catch her breath. Her breathing is shallow, and it's like at a rapid um pace, and she cannot catch her breath at all. But she's trying to express her concerns about three little boys in her classroom that are all brothers. Um and so I stop her and I say, "Miss so and so, do you need help? What's going on?" I said, "Are you okay?" And she paused, and then she kind of like looked at me and she said, "Well, for the last 2 weeks, it's been feeling like I had an elephant sitting on my chest." Now, you talking about panic? I said, "Miss So and so, can I please call 911 for you?" And she paused again, and then she let me call 911 for her. I pick up the phone call. I tell them everything, her symptoms, how she's having a hard time catching her breath. Um, she's getting anxious. So her classroom is two, it was two classrooms next to the office to the left of the main office. She goes to get her belongings and she goes to sit in the hallway on the bench. I hang up with 911. I find out that the teachers, it's two teachers next door to the office in the classroom. I tell them the situation. Everyone else is gone. I tell them the situation and ask them to sit with her. So now I'm making phone calls, the protocol where you got to alert the higher ups about this emergency. I just had to call 911. I couldn't get in touch with anyone. I called colleagues. Some of them said they were on their way back to the school. And so I could hear her in the hallway, and I had a visual on her, and they were telling the two other teachers were telling her it was going to be okay. And she started doing this release, like an emotional release, almost as if it reminded me of being in church when you see somebody catch the spirit, so to speak. And she cried hysterically, cried, and was like a scream cry. And she was walking back and forth. And when I looked at her, I said, whatever she's been hanging on to emotionally is coming up and out of her. Her body couldn't contain it anymore. So the paramedics come. Some of my colleagues come back and they're helping her. She was terrified of going to the hospital, to the emergency room. I had to find her emergency card and call down the list. I got in touch with her brother and told her brother, "Look, your sister, this is what's going on with her. They taking her to the hospital." So they get her into the ambulance. We're outside now. Now the head person of Head Start has called me on my cell and was like, "Allison, what's going on?" And I'm talking. This woman, they got her in the ambulance. She fought her way out the ambulance. She was too scared to go. One of the paramedics was like, "Ma'am, I will let you sit in the front with me. You could sit on the passenger side. Just let me get you to the hospital." And she agreed. As soon as she went to open up the door, her body hit the ground, hit the pavement. And my back is turned, and I'm talking to the director of Head Start, and I hear my colleagues screaming, and I turn around, and my teacher is on the floor, and the paramedics, just standing watching her. And then without me going into drastic or detailed information, her body begins to break down, and then they go into CPR immediately. And it's children on the playground, and they got a first seat view of what's going on. And I'm just stuck. Now I got to go. I had to go back and call her brother and say, your sister is in cardiac arrest. They are doing CPR. They did CPR on, I'm going to just call her my teacher. I want to say, I swear they did it for at least 30 to 45 minutes. And I knew she had transitioned. She had passed on. And I just couldn't believe what was happening in front of me, because when I woke up that morning, I didn't plan to see someone pass away in front of me at work, not one of my colleagues. So we go, I know another ambulance came, and they just tried to revive her, took her to Hurley. We all went to Hurley, and they had us in a room. They brought her sons, her brother came, and then the doctor came and announced that she had passed. When I tell you the amount of trauma, the shock of it, I held on. I still have it in me. And I'm surprised I'm not crying right now. I'm thankful I'm not crying right now, but I'm surprised I'm not. After that experience, I never took a day off. Some of my colleagues, they would take days off from that because it was very traumatic. I kept going for a month after. And on the 1 month anniversary of that incident happening, I showed up in tears and didn't know why. It was like my mind had lapsed in memory that, okay, Allison, a month ago, you saw your colleague pass away in front of you. I just knew. I literally walked into work crying, and I couldn't tell nobody why, but everybody else knew, because they were like, Allison, you kept coming to work, showing up every single day like that incident didn't happen. How did you do that? I shouldn't have done it. I should have took some time to heal. I should have got into counseling. I never did. But it was the shock. My body held on to the shock of that trauma, and then it released on its own. How many times have any one of you started crying for any reason? You couldn't stop the tears. That's your body releasing that trauma. All right, hold on. We got a caller. Girl, I know you was like, shut up so I could talk, but I wanted to share that story. Can you hear me, sis?
No, peace.
Peace,
Yes,
y'all. Can y'all hear?
peace.
Can y'all hear Lil Mama?
I'm gonna start crying if I hear.
Can they-
Go ahead and talk. Can somebody respond and say,
Yes.
okay,
Peace, everybody. Peace, peace.
go ahead, sis.
Peace, Sister Talibah. Peace, Nikki, and the
Peace.
810 crew. This is Lil Mama checking in from the Discord Coalition. How are you?
We are good. Shout out to the Discord Coalition. We are family.
Yes, peace from the D, no name, my little meatloaf. I just wanted to say that you doing a great job. I am extremely proud of you. You have a lot of great information that you're giving out, and I just want, or I should say, hope that all minds are clear to receive whatever they needed to receive from what you put out.
Thank you.
So I just wanted to say that really quick, because I'm sure that there's other calls waiting. But again, welcome to the, as Nikki say, death row. But welcome to the 810 family, and I can't wait to see what you have coming up next.
Oh,
So-
yes. Yes, ma'am. I have a plan for next week as well, in regards to this whole series is going to be us healing individually and collectively from the traumas that we deal with. And this is a safe space for us. This is a safe space for us.
Yeah,
so
very much needed.
Yes. We need to talk about what we're going through. And even the people that don't live in Flint, I know they got their own community stuff going on, but for them to be committed to Flint and take on
Yeah.
another community's trauma and difficulties, I mean, like yourself, little mama, you live
Yeah.
in a whole other state, but yet you are so connected to Flint, and we appreciate that about you. So this is for all of
Oh, thank
us.
you.
This is really
Yes.
for all of us because the time is now, and we cannot pass on this trauma to our babies. It's enough of
Never
that.
must end
Yes,
the
ma'am.
generational traumas that we're
Yes.
all suffering from. Yeah, I am an outsider, but I am one of those outsiders that are not toxic. I wanted to put that out there.
Yes.
The help that we do is more so in the background.
Yes.
I don't need to go into everything that we do because we just know what we do.
That's right.
But again, I won't be long-winded. Thank you for taking my call, and I'll jump back in so I can finish listening to the show.
Okay. Thank you so much, little mama. I love you. I'll
You're
talk to
welcome.
you
Love
soon.
you too.
Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay, family. I don't know if I went over my time. I'm gonna get the hang of this, the balance of it. I don't know if anyone else wanted to come in. I know I ain't going to ask if I was taking calls, but I don't want to take up more of Mickey and Trevor's time for helping me set up. So if anyone had any questions to even put in the chat, please do so, or wanted to share or make a statement. The number is, child, hold on, Deldrin. Lord have mercy. Oh, wait a minute. It's in front of me. 810-371-5812. Uh-oh, somebody beat you. This the new community activist.
Oh my God.
Yes.
That's why I get off the
Yes, darling. Yes, yes, yes. This is Winters. Are you my sister? Libra.
I'm doing well. I'm so happy to be here. So happy. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm a little hoarse today, but I am so glad I got out in church in time just to hear another wonderful word from you. And I thank you for your show and all your wisdom and knowledge that you're going to bring to ATN, because even though, you know, we work in the community, we sometimes are traumatized at work, because I work with Mickey every day. And I know that you know, I need, you know, people need a show like this on how to deal with trauma, because you can't just keep burying it in the inside. You got to release it. And sometimes you just don't know how. You know, even the strong get weak sometimes, and we just have unanswered questions. And it's, I like when you said this is our safe place, our safe space.
That's
so, you
right.
know, again, welcome to A10, baby. I share my crown with you, my sister. I
Yes,
love
ma'am.
you. And leave a copy of that for me during the week so that I know how to deal with Mickey. Thank you so much.
I sure will. I love you too, Winters.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That ain't number drugs. That ain't number pure drugs.
No, my sister is a community activist now, making peace with everyone. Do you hear me?
They're gonna be late tomorrow.
Hey, let her be late. She a community activist now. She busy. She booked and busy. And we need her energy for this community work.
Gonna be fired.
Peace. Uh-oh. Hold on. Peace. Thank you for calling the revolution.
What's up, sis? This is No Name. Listen, I just want to say that I am extremely, extremely proud of you. I said this privately. This is really a long time coming. You get to see behind the scenes the well that you are. Now the world gets to see it. And so today was a good show, but you know I wouldn't be me if I didn't ask you a question.
Yes.
So at what point do you stop calling your trauma to heal?
Oh.
Because as long as you take possession of a thing, you have it. So at what point do we release it and it no longer becomes ours? So I'm gonna leave that for you to answer. Also, I'm checking in from the Coalition for Life. We some powerful people out here.
We sure are
So
powerful.
we're powerful, you know.
Hey.
You know, we're not hot dog noodle eating people like it has been stated.
No, not at all.
So I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. But that's my question. If you can answer it,
I'm gonna try to answer it. That's an excellent question. Did you want to let go off?
Yeah. Go ahead. You can answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Love you, bro.
All right.
Bye-bye. Now, at what point do our traumas not become our traumas? That is a question that's like that could be answered by, I want to say, person to person. And I understand that question. And I think when you get to a place of it's not hurting you, and I really don't know. I'll let you know. You know what? I am at a place with certain people. And I guess at the place of forgiveness. Okay. So, okay, I'm going to say it like this. It was a significant trauma that I experienced from my mother. Okay. I am now at the place where I look at her and I see her inner child, if that makes sense. And when I think about what she did, I understand what she did, although I don't agree with it. Um, and if this makes sense, I hope everyone is following this. But in my mind, when I look at her and I look at that incident where she hurt me, I go back to her childhood. And I see her as a little helpless girl that's being molded into this society. So I see her as I see myself. I see her as I see my children, because as a parent, I have definitely unintentionally caused trauma on my children. We all have. So I relate. I can relate to her. And that's where I'm now learning that forgiveness and that grace. That's the best way that I can answer that excellent question. And I don't call it trauma anymore. It was an experience for me. It was a lesson for me, because I go back and remember what I said earlier. She was assigned to be my mother for specific lessons that I have to learn in this lifetime. This is what my soul signed up for. This is part of my mission. And what I experienced from her is helping me to heal other people. So I needed to go through that hurt, as strange as it sounds, as weird as it sounds, as crazy as it may sound. My soul needed to go through that trauma, to go through that hurt, for me to help other people heal. I need her. Boy, ain't that something? We need, even the people that do us wrong, we need them to make us stronger. We need them to elevate in this life, and we need them to help others heal. Now, ain't that something? Thank you for the question, No Name. Hey, pieces. Thank you for calling the revolution with Sister Talibah.
Peace. Assalamu alaikum. What up, though, my Detroit sister?
Wa alaikum salam. What up, though?
Just relaxing on this peaceful Sunday, watching my good sister. I am so proud of you. I am looking forward to more shows. This is very much needed.
Yes,
very
ma'am.
much needed, especially after what went down last Sunday.
Yes, yes. And thank you for saying that. You know, T, I have a lot of respect for you. You are a soldier, and I really feel like you just really need to move to Flint because you always up here. But and you know, Mickey would be so thrilled to have you in Flint, honey.
Oh, well, I can't be here.
I would be in person every day.
Yes.
I would enjoy that.
Yes. But let me ask you, because you were there on June 1st, and it was your live that I was watching when everything happened. How are you coping from that traumatic experience? What has been able to get you, I don't want to say over it, but through it? What has helped you process your emotions and everything from seeing Mr. Terrence being brutalized by the Flint Police Department?
Let me first say this. I'm glad that he's okay and no one was seriously injured or killed. You know, I'm sorry, unalive. It was rough. Walking back to my car, I ran into Winters, and I just felt rage. I was highly upset. Highly upset. I didn't even go to the park. You know, I just went home because my mood was just shot. But you said getting through it. I'm proud to see. I have to bring up Jedediah Brown. He reignited the movement in Flint, and I'm seeing it more and more. You have leaders. Flint, I'll say it like this: Flint always had leaders, but now I feel like with Jed being included, that just reignited the motivation. Because in my opinion, Flint always had leaders.
Yes.
You know, so I'm happy to see people stepping up, new faces, like We the People, Jed, and Winters, and you know, that's what Flint needs, people to step up. And you know, of course, they always gonna have my support. You know, so yeah, it was this week was kind of rough, but it's rewarding to see people stepping up. You know.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, so you just have to stay positive and you know keep it going. You know.
Right. Yeah. I think this is only.
Nobody said nobody said it was gonna be easy. So
that's right. That's right. And I think this summer is just going to be a continuation of this uprising that is needed, because the system is failing. It's falling.
Yeah.
And so this uprising is needed, and we're going to have to really take care of each other. We're going to have to look out for each other.
Absolutely. You know, it's nothing but love from the Motown.
That's
nothing
right.
But love. We always. I used to work with people from Flint in the early 2000s. You know, before the water crisis. You know, so I'm no stranger to Flint. My mother, her church during the beginning stages of the water crisis, her church would drive up and donate water and baby wipes. So we're no stranger to Flint, the fight in Flint.
Okay.
A lot of people don't know that, you know. Yeah. But I am proud of you. I enjoyed the show. Yep. And I am checking in from the Discord coalition as well.
Yes, another family member from the Discord coalition. Oh, we are some powerful people. Me, you, Lil Mama, No Name, and Winters. So I love you, sis. Thank you for calling in, and thank you for being a supportive sister. I appreciate it, and Flint appreciate it. Thank you for your heart.
Oh, absolutely. I love you as well, and I admire your discipline, your boldness. Like, don't change. Just don't ever second guess yourself.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, sis.
I love you, sis.
All right, love
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye. I saw Deborah Luna's comment and Debbie Clark. That right there, out of all of those videos of Mr. Terrence being pulled out of that car like that, to see y'all screaming, you two screaming at the top of your lungs and seeing the expressions on your face, definitely. I just feel for you. Thank you for calling the revolution with Sister Talibah.
What's up, this is Belgian. I'm gonna be quick. I just want to say that I'm super proud of you. Keep driving and things like that. A-tennis is probably one of the best moves I've seen you make because I know it's gonna touch more than just the people that you're in front of. You're gonna touch the youth and things like you touch me.
Thank you.
You're very strong, and like I said, I'm super proud of y'all, and I just want to say that thank you for not allowing that trauma of me not being able to get in today, because if I didn't get a chance to call, I was definitely gonna have a little trauma. But on a serious note, I just want to say, once again, I'm super proud of you, and I don't curse in front of y'all, but I'm just gonna have to do today. The fucking revolution is here, and I hope that everybody's ready.
That's right, Deldrin.
With that being said, I love y'all, and I'll definitely, continue to be tuning in.
All right, thank you, Deldrin. Love you, bro. I really appreciate you.
No problem. Love you too.
Bye-bye.
Of course.
I couldn't pronounce it, but that was Bilal.
Eid Mubarak, Bilal.
Yeah, he told me to tell you that.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for tuning in. Okay. So I think I don't see any more calls. I went over my time. I'm almost at an hour and 30 minutes. I appreciate everyone that showed up for my first show, The Revolution with 810 News Media Group. Please make sure that you like it up. Somebody calling. I'm sorry, Mickey and Trevor. Hold on. Thank you for calling The Revolution with Sister Talibah.
Hi, Sister Talibah. This is Debbie Clark.
Debbie Clark, I love you so much. How
I
are
love you
you?
too. I'm okay, and I had to do exactly what you said. After the week that we had, for 2 days, I did nothing but release, cry. I didn't talk to nobody. I sat in silence. That was tough. That was tough, sister.
Yeah.
And we got to stand together. Together, we are all one. And we have to stand together. We cannot be disruptive because that's what they want.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to stand together strong.
Yes.
And we are all strong. And we all have our parts to play in this battle.
Yes.
Because it's a battle.
And
I just wanted you to know that you inspire me. And always have. And I love you, sister. And you keep telling us what to do. We have to stick together. That's my main thing is I'm proud of you and we have to stick together.
I thank you, Debbie. I'm proud of you also. You and your sister, you guys have so much strength and you have been through it. Only to come back to that meeting, was that Monday, the next day, and you was punched in the chest?
Yeah.
By that officer that, wasn't it the same officer that pulled out Mr. Terrence?
No, he's a sergeant. He's a sergeant. His name is K. Jones. Okay. And yeah, he was not a very nice man.
No.
And I was trying to de-escalate.
Yeah.
The one officer, his undercover name is Pigeon. Mm-hmm. He's the tall guy with the tattoos. He asked me to help to get people to set back down, which was happening.
Yeah.
And then he asked me to talk to her to get her out of the meeting so nothing bad happened. Yeah. And then he came in and you seen what happened.
I couldn't believe it. I was shocked. So yeah, you've definitely been through it. Not only did you witness police brutality, but then the very next day you became a victim of it.
Yep. And like I said, I'm a senior. I'm 57, but I will not allow them to put hands on our seniors. I don't care.
Yeah.
Take me to jail if you must.
Mhm.
I'm good. You know, like I said, Miss Taylor, there's so different. You know what I'm saying? But
Yes.
we just have to keep sticking together, and God will get us through this. He's already opening the doors.
Yes, ma'am.
We just have to arm in arm, stand together, and get through this together.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's all I'm going to say. There's 100 people want to talk to you because you are my hero. You inspire me so much.
You inspire me.
I love you, and I'm gonna get up off of here so somebody else can talk. But I just wanted you to know I'm okay because I did exactly what you said needed to be done. It took me a few days to take it all in.
Yeah.
And then I had to let it out. It was like, wow.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
All right, sister. I'm gonna get off here, and I will see you tomorrow, honey.
Okay, I'll see you. I love you, Debbie. Bye-bye.
I love you too, babe. Bye-bye.
Okay. I'm at an hour and 25 minutes. Okay. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Thank you for supporting me on my first show of the revolution. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys next Sunday. For all those that live in Flint, if there are any council meetings, hopefully I'll be able to be there to be present with everyone. And just thank you for your support. Please support the platform, A10 News Media Group, Cash App, and doing the YouTube chats. Drop some coins, support the platform. Thank you to Brother Mickey, to Brother Trevor, and to Sister Winters for welcoming me onto the platform. It's only up from here. We elevating. A10 News Media Group is a gold mine, and it's only going to get better, and can't no one stop us. And can't nobody stop the revolution. I love you all. Peace to you.